Game number one, the grand final, ladies and gentlemen, ALW. I was actually earlier talking about the name of the league, and I said it was the Attack Wolf something, and I was obviously completely wrong on that. I have no idea where that came from. The attack word is never in there. It's the Amateur Wolfpack League. So you would actually think that it's going to be shortened by AWL, but that's not the case, because this is a Polish league. The Polish language apparently works out in the way that it's shortened to ALW. So we are in the ALW, it's the best of 5, it's the grand final, and we have the leftovers against Hold My Beer. And if you're actually someone that watches all of the videos on YouTube or Twitch, one or the other, then you should be familiar with both teams. Obviously the names on the side of the leftovers ring probably a bell, but Hold My Beer has been playing a lot of these tournaments, and they're actually also going to represent it in the playoffs for the Heroes High Premier Series, which we are going to cast soonish, as in I think roughly a week, so it's going to be pretty epic as well. But they've been pretty determined to get better and better, participate in as many tournaments as they can, and really push the agenda there a bit. So for now, when it comes to bans, we have a couple of bans that really don't surprise at all. We have first of all a Tracer banned out against DAB, plus in addition to that Chen. There's a lot of Chen action with this, which means that DAB can still now theoretically go into a Li Ming setup if he wants to. We're having Sylvanas and also Medivh banned out with this. Well, Sky Founty is our first map, as you obviously already have seen. And yeah, let's check out what our first pick is in this game. And it's Greymane, Black Kidney. Greymane got a lot stronger. The bullet got increased, the damage on the bullet from 35% of the current health up to 40. And in addition to that, the auto attacks are now also slightly stronger. And that actually means that occasionally we're seeing Arthur's getting picked again on the offlane, because he counters the auto attack speed of Greymane, obviously, and for team fights that's a huge asset to have. Not really a massive pick, but definitely something that we see a bit more often. Johanna gets taken, so first of all the wave clear and the sustain on the checkpoint are pretty cool, but you also have a blind against Greymane that adds value. Li Ming claimed, and that means that we don't have a chance for the leftovers to pick the reset hero for themselves. So that's already a good adjustment in the draft. Still a bit curious to see if we're going to have Rek'Sai again. We've seen Potipos a lot with Rek'Sai in the past, and he is still... This is one of the best maps for him for sure. But Imperius. Imperius and Malfurion are the two picks that we're getting there. And yeah, Podia's also played a lot with Imperius. The hero was buffed in the last patch and is actually one of the top damage dealers when it comes to the offlane lineup. Also, in addition to that, we're having a bit of a shift away from the traditional previous build towards the Molten Core, which is now prioritized on 13 and level 4 in particular. So we're going to have look at that, but I would expect the same build to be mirrored here. Garrosh gets banned out, which leaves us with, well, you can still go Muradin, Diablo, Anubarak. Especially Anubarak, of course, can be played now. We have Anubarak engaged, you have Imperius follow-up, Malfurion follow-up, and a bit of one-shot potential from Greymane. I wouldn't be shocked to see Jaina take with this, to be honest. DAB has played Jaina a lot, and it's definitely a pick that would work here, considering that they can blow targets out of the waters within seconds if they go for that setup around Anubarak. And keep in mind that it was actually Medivh that got banned out. Whitemane gets picked, and we have Jimmy together with it as well. Alright. And honestly, Anubarak Jaina would be great here. Obviously, there's more that can really work, but yeah, there's the Jaina pick. Is it Anubarak? Beetle, or are we going for something else? Stitches! Okay. Shitty skin. Shitty skin. Looks good on paper. Horrible later on. Psycho Stitches, Chef Stitches, Bikini Stitches, so much better. So, yeah, who wants the teddy bear? Exactly nobody. But Stitches, then again, cool pick, so I like that. So we're going to have a bit of a different setup. They don't go for the deep engage, but they're going for a hook into a stun and then the blowout, so that works too. And now, with game number 1 coming up, we have Thrall, and that could actually be, in theory, a Crush Lightning Thrall, but again, they don't have a triple melee, so that makes it a bit less likely, since Thrall usually has the offlane. But let's head into game number 1, everybody. Volskaya Foundry, the grand final at the ALW between Hold My Beer and the leftovers. Game on, everybody! Game number 1 on the Skya Foundry. Podibos for the leftovers on Malfurion. We have Toulouf on Imperius, Blake Kidney on Greymane, Jaina played by DAB, and Mobsio on Stitches. And on the right side of the map, Baltz on Liming for Hold My Beer. We have Kolatka on Thrall, Sartuas on Johanna, Cesabos on Reyna, and Scope on Whitemane. I can't really help myself. Every single time I see Scope, I just want him to pick Nova. That would be absolutely amazing. If not that, then at least pick Ana and go into the Eye of Horus, so that we can really just lock down that Scope right there. But there we go. Our game is set up, and oh, I nearly forgive Mobsio for taking such a shitty skin, because he has at least some synergy. He goes pink into pink and rides the money pick. And let's be honest here, let's be real for just a second. I can't be mad with someone that rides the money pick. That is just taste. So with this, we're starting to move straight into our little fight there, and already the damage straight onto Johanna. Oh, the kill! What a hook! Mobsio is going in. Stages wants to play, and yep, he gets some playtime here. Went into the patchwork creation. So gonna play around the minion waves quite a lot, and since most of the objectives, actually every single objective, spawns directly next to a wave or lane, that is going to help quite a bit. Cool kill for them, and that was well done. With this, now we're having on the right side of the map still our 3-man here in the middle. Already, by the way, in build around the Gilnean and Cocktail for Greymane. Normally you see that with synergy on the level 7 talent, and still deviating away on level 4. But also the Echo of Elements that we already expected. And Greymane is already starting to go straight in for a little solo mission here. So they get the turret down at the bottom left, bottom right is doing the same thing, but Greymane is just a wolf on a mission right now. And he's actually winning this battle, and nobody has scouted that out. So they are going to get this, because the red team just doesn't think that they are able to get it this quickly. Nicely done. That's a good start into the grand final for them. Yeah, Mobsio still looking for the hook, and this time he doesn't connect it. So with that, we have level 4 a little bit earlier. I mean, again, the minion experience, and added to that, the mercenary experience gives them a slight lead. There's a talent that I talked about earlier, the Molten Core focus with the Sovereign Armor on level 4 now. Rotation towards the bottom, where Thrall has to be a bit cautious. The question is it going to be the Frostwolf pack? Nope, Mana Tide for him. I'm also worried about the mana setup here. Kolatka has obviously now a job to do, and that is stacking his quest talent as quickly as he can, so that he has that double charge already for the first objective. Most of the time, Thrall players are actually struggling a bit to make that work, and they usually complete it after the first objective, or at least after the first engage over it. Liming still with the level 4 dominance. Mobsio up at the top, looking for a little bit more playtime, and he hooks already Jimmy. And Thrall goes down at the bottom of the map, as we're having Toulouf, Podibos, and DAB going for another engage. So we had 2 little fights happening, and 1 kill for the blue team. Leftovers, a really cool setup, so that works out for them nicely. Get the early start in the objective therefore as well, and as you can tell, they're already dropping one of the towers in the mid lane too. So if they grab the protector, that would help them obviously quite a lot. Items in their hands, and they have a significant lead, which also means on top of that, that they will have the early level 7 talent. And that obviously will shut down any kind of aggression attempts by Hold My Beer, at least in the early stages. Blakidney is already playing around the top, but goes in a little bit deep. But Cesabos and his Reyna can't really push him out too much with the penetrating round, so they are not able to get the kill against Blakidney. That would have been pretty awesome actually, with the healing beacon obviously in his hands. So would have denied that too. Cocktail already on 2 stacks for the Incendiary Elixir. And we're seeing the aggression towards the mid lane. Mobsio needs to be a bit careful here. He's pretty much alone as the 4-man is moving in. 4 versus 4 allows now the Calamity to come through. Plus also Thrall with the Ancestral Wrath. Great talent against Stitches at the front line. The hook connects again. Stitches was always a master hooker. I mean, he is really good at that. He wants to have his playtime here, and he gets his playtime. If you want to or not, it doesn't really matter. Thrall, on the other hand, he's on the receiving end of just a huge amount of pain. Toulouf gets the solo kill here, which is a little bit ridiculous to say the least. Podibos, by the way, is on the support position. So obviously we have Taluf now in the setup for them and no main support. So with this setup we are seeing Potibos outside of his usual element. Not really on the offlane, had to yield that spot. Protector's already taken, a little bit more damage, another stack acquired, and Greymane joins the fun straight in the Protector right here. With that, we're still seeing Thrall bot side trying to get some experience for them. Hold My Beer is obviously in a really tough spot here. And Stitches comes in again. Are we going to see another hook? Nah. Oh, there's the setup, but it's not enough to get the kill. Even if Jaina would have connected the Blizzard, that's not a kill. Not without Stitches connecting the hook here. So the top action is happening. The prep for objective number 2 is underway. They're trying to open up the walls so that they can drop that fountain as quickly as possible. There's still a 3-man that rotates around the map and tries to get all of those camps and all the minion experience. 17 stacks on Thrall now. With a constant aggression against him, he's a little bit late. And ooh, the game is also excited about what's happening here. There was Heroes of the Storm holding its breath as they're waiting for the level 10 picks. I can certainly understand that. There was always a chance that Gorge is getting played, but Mobsio, it disappoints not only us, but also the client. And we have instead now the Putrid Bile taken again. Which looks honestly horrible with this skin. That's another reason why that skin just sucks. I mean, that Putrid Bile is just not worth it. It's not really what we want here. No, 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 no. Ring of Frost, also at this point. Taken, and Stitches, okay, went down. Gets punished immediately for picking that skin. I definitely approve that particular message that was sent now to the main tank. We're having also the healing beacon used here. Blakidney is on the move away. This entire setup is starting to become a little bit forced, what we're seeing here from them. They had to use one healing beacon to just move out. We have 2 turrets now on the other side. And, well, at the next time, Thrall is still sitting at the bottom of the map, and Jimmy hasn't taken his ult yet. I understand absolutely why. Oh, that could be a kill, but Johanna walks out of it. Here comes the Earthquake and the kill against Alfurion. Nearly Blakidney falling too. Stitches with another hook attempt. Taluf in trouble. Yep, there comes the Raiders, and that's another kill. Double kill! And Hold My Beer, all of a sudden, back to business with this one. Nicely done. 3 kills against 3 and looking spicy here. I like it. Fighting back hard into that. So, yep, with that, we're now having top side. 14,000 on Liming, 16,000 on Greymane. The damage numbers on the 2 at this point. So yeah, so far so good. Actually, this was a big comeback here for Hold My Beer. Getting those kills even when they were behind in talents, they didn't have level 10, they still got the Stitches kill, was great. And also, that kill against Stitches really forced the plays of Greymane. I mean, again, he already had an item, he couldn't pick the second one up, nobody else was there. Stitches dies in the mid lane, if the team rotates over, they get that for free, so that was more or less a denial on items for the blue team. And with that, we are nearly even. Not quite, because there's still a healing beacon available for them. But still, we're close on that. Down to the bottom of the map, that's the 2 turrets that they're currently holding here. Actually, Greymane doesn't have the healing beacon anymore. Had to use it already earlier. They're trying to get the kill in the middle right now. Johanna also holding a turret. This game is all of a sudden pretty even. And it underlines again what I've said earlier when we're headed into the draft for game number 1. That Hold My Beer these days is really working to improve, is trying to get better, is competing in every single competition they can enter. And these guys are really getting stronger and stronger and stronger, as evident right here. Ring of Fail as it connects with absolutely nothing. And we have the digestive juices on level 13 right now. But level 13 will be ready for both of the teams. Granted, there's going to be a lead for Leftovers against Hold My Beer. But Leftovers, with Thrall sitting bot side, should definitely be able to still make that happen. Yeah, Imperius is a beast these days. He definitely is. And he already starts to go in against Thrall again. But there's now 13 on both sides, which gives us the debilitating rounds for Jimmy. Here comes the damage. Jimmy in a bit of trouble, but so is Jaina. And she's down there trying to get the kill against Greymane after he made the initial engage against Reyna. And now all of a sudden the turnaround against Imperius. And that's another kill. 5 kills against 3. Hold My Beer goes straight into this game with the confidence that they need. And now they are able to take over the control point. That doesn't guarantee the Protector to them, obviously, since we already have 70% for their opponent. But now there's a big push for the next healing beacon, and these guys are definitely getting more confident by the minute, and for good reason too. Another bullet attempt, this time missing. Quest is completed for Greymane though, so Blakitne can continue with the poke. But things are getting interesting here. At the beginning of the game, it seemed like leftovers would just walk over them. But then, Hold My Beer was just sitting there and starting to make the plays. And they're continuing to do this. Yeah, there's a 5 versus 5 now in a second again. Sadras is still on the point. They have to win the fight again. They're going for Stitches. There's the lockdown. They're trying to grab him. No blessed shield being used, but not even needed. They take Stitches down. Yeah, they hate the Teddy. Mopsio is dead. That's 6 kills against 3. There's a great lockdown against Li Ming, but she gets out, and that's the end of Jaina. Jaina is dead, and Hold My Beer is just murdering people. Greymane is eliminated, 8 kills against 3, and Hold My Beer is absolutely not intimidated by the name of their opponent's team. They're just moving in, getting the kills, and they are actually eager to get map number 1 for themselves right now. Pretty insane. Honestly, really impressive the way that they are playing this at this point, and it just feels like Leftovers might have underestimated them a little bit. I'm not taking them too serious after the fantastic start into the game that they had. Now we're looking at 23 and 22,000 damage on Li Ming, Thrall, and Reyna against the 27,000 that we have from Greymane. Aggression at the top as they're trying to take down the fort. The level 16 talents are in their hands too. And this is starting to look better and better and better for Hold My Beer. Leftovers, they need to win a fight and get a couple of kills if they want to turn this around. The defense is there, at least. But again, 16 is already in play. And that gives us Fanaticism, Mirror Ball, Thunderstorm. And the blue team is still fighting for that extra talent. And they should actually be able to take that down. So right now, they're going straight into the middle. Prepping for the bot lane objective would maybe also be a good idea. But they're losing the Protector in just a moment. Are waiting for the abilities to throw them out again, but there's now the level 16, so an eye-level fight could definitely happen within a few seconds. Greymane at this point has the Executioner. That's going to help him a lot. We're having also the Northern Exposure. A bit more kill potential. Thrall, by the way, is just sitting tight. I mean, Thrall has really had such a bad time at the beginning of the game that he needs to be careful now. But there's another setup. The Wolf misses. Does he go into the Earthquake? Yep, he does, and Stitches is dead again. Mopsio gets mopsed, and, well, at least the counter kill from Jaina. The problem is that DAB is now very much alone. There's nobody to help him out. He can ice block this all day long, but at the end of it, he is still going to fall. So a 2-for-1 trade for Hold My Beer, as they are now an entire level ahead. 10 kills against 4, and especially Stitches just gets abused in this one. It's Mopsio and DAB. Both of them have now died 3 times, and with that numeric advantage, means obviously that you dominate the map and you can take the items. And they already run into that problem where they're just asking, okay, who doesn't have an item yet? That's a great setup. Oh my god, Imperius, calm the hell down. What the hell is going on there? Triple kill out of nowhere. The triple kill of Doom as Taloof gets the connect, and they are just murdering that setup. That was insanity. Greymane goes in and just rips them apart, literally goes for the throat. And Poribos, he needs to pause the game here. I mean, honestly, my pants would be wet too after such a play. So I can totally understand that they need a minute, because that was an exciting setup that we had there. Look at them, the 3 heroes of the last battle. The 3 of them literally just going into a 3v4 and dropping them within seconds. Nice performance, well played. And now this game is completely open again. Now Stitches is taken towards the top lane and is trying to push this out. We're having, in terms of damage, Greymane now on 38,000 thanks to that last fight. But when you look at level 17 on both sides, it obviously means that we're now looking towards level 20 for both of the teams as the third objective is spawning. I kind of doubt that we're going to see it as the game, as the point gets announced, but in the middle of it, it could definitely happen. With now 5 heroes on the map, there's still that juicy healing beacon that could be taken. And I honestly really think this is the next play that they're going to make. Because keep in mind, there were a lot of items on the red team side, but now they're down to a single turret here. They have nothing on Cesabor, so they lost all of that. And we are having no items on the side of the leftovers either, outside of I think we saw... No, actually nothing. They're trying to steal it away now at the bottom left. But this one is still up. So bottom left push against the turret. Gonna get this one. And now the attempt to go straight towards the top side to grab that healing beacon. And with 3 heroes still down, you can definitely do that. Blikidney, by the way, is just throwing out bullets like it's candy. I mean, seriously, every single time the guy has a cursed bullet up, he's just throwing it out. It's a little bit scary. Every single time you're seeing him close to another hero, you just hear the sound and you know that he's looking for that extra damage and that extra poke. 30-second cooldown, he doesn't hold that back by anything. So with this, we're now having a focus onto the top lane. Keep in mind, Hold might be as the only team that has taken down a fort so far. The leftovers are now trying to draw even here. Going in again, another cursed bullet, this time hits home. Thrall is soloing the bot lane now. And Thrall could honestly take this Fountain down if he breaks through that wall. As long as there's a 5-man at the top, he definitely has that chance. The problem is that Johanna is down. The 5 versus 4 as the hook connected. Mopsio is going in together with the rest of the team to drop White Mane now as well. And she's getting wrecked. He's hoping for another hook. Oh my god, and he hits it! Li Ming, the blind took over the wall. He gets the hook, but Li Ming teleports out. But that was definitely an adrenaline rush there for Li Ming. No doubt about that. Long distance hook this time doesn't connect. Now we're having bot lane, that Fountain taken down, and Li Ming dies regardless. She might have been able to jump around and juke out the hook kill attempt or the combo, but she's not able to run away from gaming. And now the fort, the keep, it is assailed. Yeah, there's the onslaught top side that just continues to pressure them. They started with a fort and they're ending it with the keep being destroyed, and also a massive lead in experience. So damn son, all of a sudden, out of nowhere really, they're coming back and they're absolutely killing it. The rotation has started towards the bottom. Level 20 talents are in. Gives us, after the Twilight Dream, the Astral Communion. Hunter's Blunderbuss is in play. We're having also a bit more survivability with the Shambling Horror now for Stitches. And things are just looking much, much better now for them. 10 kills against 10. And the game is not over by any means. I mean, again, we should see level 20 for Hold My Beer doing this objective, and then they will be able to force a fight. They have 5 up on the map in just a moment, since Li Ming is now coming back. And this is the Storm Tunnel for them. And there we have it. White Mane going straight into Purge the Wicked. We're having the Blessed Shield upgraded. Radiant Faith. Okay. No Indestructible for her here. No Storm Shield either. Okay, fair enough. So let's see what they can actually pull off with that. If they get the good stuns in, that would be great. And Jimmy making a bit of a deviation as well into the weak spot acquired. So armor reduction for him. If they can get a quick kill, that would be fantastic. And I mean, obviously, he synergizes so well with Johanna and especially Thrall. It's fantastic. Every time the Earthquake is getting dropped, Jimmy is a happy panda and just runs around here and says like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All that damage. Every time that Thrall drops the Earthquake, Jimmy's literally just sitting there and just says, okay, hold my beer, boys, I got this. So, here comes the push, and they need to be careful with the hook, but there comes Jojo with the Blessed Shield attempt, and there... Get wrecked, son! What? They looked at that triple kill earlier and they said, okay guys, hold my beer, we can do that too. Go in, and Johanna with a perfect flank. I mean, what a sexy play there. Gets the level 20 in the Radiating Faith, and then Li Ming takes aim and gets the full setup with Jimmy shelling away. He just was shelling the shit out of them. And that is now 3 kills for them. Jojo is on the point, and they're starting to make the play for the bottom wall as is. What a kill! Hold My Beer is sitting there and just saying, okay guys, we got this. Now there is aggression, obviously. DAB has now taken the top camp. There's a triple catapult that pushes in, and that has to be reacted at some point. Well, I guess they're gonna try and race it, to be honest with you. They're already going through that keep like it's nothing, especially since 3 heroes are dead, so they're completely gonna ignore the top catapults. They're gonna ignore them. They're just gonna race it. They're just gonna race it. It's gonna be the Winions against Hold My Beer. That's what we're gonna see here. And yep, there we start already. And if they start focusing into the mid lane, that's going to be a problem. Keep is down, and they're trying to go for it. Guys, this king is going to be burned down quickly. They're making the play for Mopsio. The shields are already falling. Catapults are just now homing in onto the core of Hold My Beer, but they already have the shields destroyed. They can't fall yet. They need to finish it. 60, 50%. They're going to pay it off. That's easy. Easy peasy. They take the game. They're going to win this. No problem whatsoever. 3 points, 2 points, and that is it. Hold My Beer with the lead against the leftovers at the ALW Grand Final Series. Hold My Beer with the lead, everybody. I still can't believe it, but they played well. In the early games, the early stage of game 1, they got a bit destroyed, but honestly, that was really well played by them. So, my respect. It felt like leftovers after they got that big triple kill and then pushed the top lane and took the keep down, had the game in their grasp. But Hold My Beer literally just sat there and said, like, hold my beer, boys. We're gonna make the same play here and gonna kill 3 in half a second. Honestly, you blinked and you missed it. That's pretty much what happened there. I also don't want to know at this point what kind of beer they're drinking, because whatever it is, it seems to have some side effects there. All of a sudden, you're starting to absolutely kill it in heroes. Sylvanas and Whitemane are both banned out, so they're definitely done dealing with that, especially the Whitemane plays. We're on Alterac Pass now, so another big map. In addition to this, we are also having still Chen banned out, plus Tracer. Yeah, I don't think that there's a chance that DAB gets his Tracer pick at any point during this. But I'm still slightly interested if the size of the map is now going to impact the heroes that are getting picked there. Because you could, for example, pick Abathur here. And especially with Greymane as a first pick, there's a good chance that a Greymane with a Symbiote hat or a copy and a double Greymane could do a lot with this. But again, getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, there's still a chance for Hold My Beer to do the same thing. Globals obviously would rock here as well, either being Falstad, Dehaka. Dehaka has like fallen slightly out of favor on a lot of maps, but here he's still strong. ETC on the other hand can obviously fulfill both positions. He can be in the main tank position, he can be in the side laner position, and this is what we're seeing from most teams in early ETC on big lanes, so that they can be a bit more flexible in deciding later on, do they want to have him as the side laner or as the main tank. And even as a side lane position, if he just jumps in with the stage dive, he can easily, of course, provide the stun through the power slide. Li Ming, okay, so we're going to see them now with the setup that was denied to them in the last game. Keep in mind, last time leftovers went also in an early Greymane pick, but then Li Ming was claimed by Hold My Beer, and therefore DAB couldn't go onto the reset hero. Now it's a different story. We have the immediate ban, by the way, on level 3, or on the 3rd position against Tyrael now. So that makes it a little bit harder for Greymane to fully commit. Should still be fine though. And the boss fights are going to be a little more complicated. Malfurion gets also taken down so that he can't use the Twilight Dream here and not follow up with roots on ETC's engages, or, well, for example, on Hanzo's arrow if that connects. But what are the picks right now? They definitely need something that really threatens leftovers now. I'm still waiting for even more of a focus on globals. I would have expected beforehand that we see Abathur here, but I feel it becomes less likely now. Anduin is taken, and Muradin. Okay, we got the dwarf back in. There's Garrosh. And what's the last pick here? Toulouf. He's side lane for them. And he will in this game too, I assume. God, I hope it's Abathur, but I don't think so. Nah, it would be too much of a risk, I feel. But when it comes to side laners, there's still abundance out that you can go for. Thrall, one of them. Potentially could have seen a lot there, but yep, Thrall comes in. It's a lot of damage actually for them. A huge amount of damage. And good follow-ups also with the Suns they have. Interrupts obviously against the channel on the prisoner camp. Last pick for Hold My Beer. Alterac Pass, ladies and gentlemen. We have game number 2 on our hands. And with the lead for Hold My Beer, the leftovers are obviously under a bit of pressure. I mean, they are the favorites in this series by a huge margin too. But they fell behind. And here comes Phoenix. Okay. Phoenix is in. And we are good to go for the second map of the best of 5 series here at the ALW, the Polish Heroes of the Storm League. And with that, we're heading straight into our second map. So let's see who takes it. Can the leftovers put the first point onto the scoreboard for their team? Game on, hold my beer in the lead, and they are going to try to rock this right now with a 2-0 lead over their opponent. Can you imagine Hold My Beer taking a 2-0 against the Leftovers and being just one map away from winning the Grand Finals here? Polyboss for the Leftovers on Tyrande, Toulouf on Thrall, we have Blick Kidney on Greymane, DAB on Li Ming, and Mopsio on Garrosh. Over to the right side of the map, Balza on Hanzo. For Hold My Beer, we have Satras on Muradin, Kolatka on ETC, Cesabos on Phoenix, and Scope on Anduin. Alright, so let's have a look at the talents. Perfect Storm on level 1, so Muradin trying to stack, and gets the stack here immediately against DAB. Was that a Stormbolt into a blink? DAB try and dodge the Stormbolt and accidentally blinked into it, or maybe I didn't see that correctly, but for a moment it looked like that. For level 1 talents, we're now also having Renew taken. No bold strategy for Anduin this time. And the 5 versus 5 on the little bridge of death that we have in the middle of the map here. This is always a bit of an interesting map because the cavalry's, well, the objective generally is incredibly strong. Cavalry or raiders, it doesn't really matter. It definitely does a lot of damage there. So I'm personally pretty interested to see if the snowball from the first objective can be upheld by whoever teams claims it here. And, well, with this, we're currently having still the push to the middle where Satras is all of a sudden in trouble and eats the stun, but Anduin is Anduin and comes immediately in and says like, nope, not on my watch. Anduin, just as a hero in general, this mechanic is kind of so funny because it has in the past just denied so many 100% kills, and it's just fantastic. So I'm really wondering how much of these plays we're going to see throughout the game right now, because there's definitely potential for him to save a lot of the targets. I mean, if you think about it, Muradin has an escape, ETC has an escape, if he has the slide still up, we're still having Phoenix with the warp out. So there's a lot of mobility that exists on Hold My Beer side where they can try and dodge these stun compositions that are coming from the Leftovers. But there's a huge amount of damage, and if you just lock down for a second or two, the Leftovers could go for a quick kill here around Greymane and Li Ming. And that's not even the only damage. You're having the Hunter's Mark from Tyrande and on top of that Thrall. So it's a really powerful combo that is being played by the blue team. But in this case, they are actually the ones that are getting chased. Mopsio is barely kept alive there by Tyrande. And boy, did they just eat damage. This, on the other hand, could be the end of Hanzo. Yeah, he's on the wrong side of the map here. He's trying to poke a bit, but eventually he's going to fall, and that is first blood in the game. Hanzo is down, and that was that. So, we're still having in the middle a little bit more action. Level 10, 11 stacks now for Thrall, as we're on level 4 with Mana Tide for him again. With the abilities that we're seeing, we're also actually having the Speed Metal. This is something that they just love to play. If you watch a couple of the games from Hold My Beer, Speed Metal and also the Block Party on level 1 is really their preferred build when they are playing ETC on the side lane, and that has been just a theme. Sledgehammer for Muradin. It's actually pretty cool too. You don't really see it all that often. Probably going to be the Bronzebeard Rage then on level 13 over the Healing Static. 15 stacks now for Thrall. So he's starting to get there. And here we go. First objective is up on the map. Oftentimes you see it delayed slightly until one of the teams reaches level 7. Greymane is already on the camp, and that camp could be invaded. And it is! 3 versus 3 right now. Li Ming has to move in though. Are they really going to fight for it? They are. They're trying it. Li Ming comes in and so does Phoenix. There's the combo. Camp is going to be taken by the Leftovers, and since it wasn't claimed by Hold My Beer on the other side of the map, that means that there's an advantage now. But at least they get the early count on the objective. Doesn't really help them for too long. They get a 4-second advantage. Doesn't really scream win for objective number 1. But hey, again, I mean, everything matters, right? Like, small advantages eventually lead up to big ones. So 13 stacks now for Muradin. Obviously the Sledgehammer is helping him a lot ever since the talent got reworked. There's more reason to take it. Helps him also with the damage against the cavalry, if it comes to that. Level 7 talents with the Calamity once more, and that also adds, of course, the Ancestral Wrath for Thrall. So yeah, quest completed for Thrall, as Mana Tide. Ancestral Wrath can be a bit more of a nuisance with that. Play already down here at the bottom, as we're seeing now auto attack talents for ETC and for Muradin. Give him the Axe and Hammer on, both taken. And we have a bit of a war play, the Warp Warfare. Okay, the enemy attack speed. They already think that they're going to be the ones chasing. Let's see if that holds true. 4 versus 4 at the bottom of the map as the objective is being fought over, but top side we're still seeing ETC and Thrall duking it out there. Nobody yielding just yet. 15 stacks for Meridian's baseline, so he's 10 away from getting the cooldown reduction on the auto attacks and the Pierce. Both of them pretty fantastic there as well. But yeah, there we have our little skirmish and it is in. Okay, so he needs to reclaim that. It's going to be a little bit difficult with Phoenix dying here. Yep, he got locked down quickly. And there's the Storm Ball against Black Kidney. A little bit of damage from Hanzo too, but they can't get the kill. And now Sarduas himself on his Meridian is a bit in trouble too. ETC comes in, but it's still a 5 versus 4. And the objective is just progressing in favor of the leftovers. Mopsio is low, but stays alive. And Meridian barely saved by Anduin. Oh, and nearly dies there. Tries to go for another Storm Bolt and doesn't connect it, and that's the end of him as Li Ming just goes in and says, alright, I got this, boys. And that's a second kill shortly after that. Objective in, 4 kills against 0. The leftovers are angry. Yeah, they had quite a bit left here. After game number 1, apparently. Not going all out, as it seems. Now all of a sudden they're using all that energy that was still stored up to open the second map with a bang. Level ahead, nearly level 10. Objective moving in, and boys, they're gonna have level 10 with their push. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot. Yeah, you can already prepare yourself because there's a pain train headed towards Hold My Beer. Choo-choo! Straight up on the action right now, and that pain is coming. Greymane is wrecking that bot lane here in the middle of the fence. Isn't really too bad, but the fort still takes 50% damage. Up towards the top, we're having Thrall pretty much soloing that particular effort here and breaking through the wall too. And at the bottom of the map, Greymane has delivered the entire wall, and they're getting another 50% onto this fort as well. Not a forced fight yet. They haven't really dropped anything here, and with anything I mean mainly the Sundering. They could do it now against ETC, and should. Yeah, that was a little bit late, but could still be a kill. No taunt, but a throw. And Kolatka goes down. We have the Decimate taken right there. So no taunt in this case for Mopsio. No Warlord's challenge, but they get the kill. They still have level 10, 5 kills against 0. And that is the end of the fort at the top side. For a second I was just thinking that the caster curse would hit again. And it would survive with like a hit point or two. But no, they take it down. And that works for them right there. So in comes the the ETC stage dive. They try and take the camp, but there's the play. And guys, oh, Planet Cracker and Arrow, and both are missing. Oh, a narrow miss by the Arrow as we have the camp taken away, but ETC still died. Was it really worth it? I doubt it slightly. But yeah, that is something that I didn't really see coming, but it's an interesting setup to say the least. So we have Planet Cracker with Stage Dive, and the Arrow comes in too. Might not have worked out in that fight, but if that at any point connects properly, you can prepare yourself for a few funerals. So yeah, 6 kills against 0. And well, the stage is set. We have Decimate, we have also the Planet Cracker here. It's time to crack one open. I really love that most of the stuff that Hold My Beer is currently doing really is in some kind related to actual beer. I mean, if you want to crack one open, there's nothing better than Planet Cracker, and they could get that. Ooh, mud pit value, look at that. That's the slow right there. Yeah, but the prisoner camp is gonna pop up in 2 more seconds, and then it's time to go for the next objective here. So I'm trying to take that out. At this point, we're having, well, not a single kill for the red team. But again, if game number 1 has taught us one thing, it's really you shouldn't count them out. The problem is that Anduin. Oh, I could have totally seen a kill against Hanzo there. If not for Anduin, he would have fallen 100%. Yep, level 13 is ready. Black Kidney is sitting bot side now. Has claimed his on the prowl immediately, so a little bit more additional move speed for him. 13, big talent advantage. Arrow. Yeah, that arrow is still flying. Oh, actually hit the mountain there. Never seen that before. Okay, Stormbolt is also missing. Yeah, Mirrodin felt a little bit bad. He was like, okay, Anduin now missed his arrow twice in a row. I kind of have to miss a Stormbolt here too. He thinks he's the only one that misses skill shots. So let's just make sure that I'm dropping one. I already have my quest completed. So good guy Mirrodin really trying to keep the morale of his teammate a little bit higher with this. At this point, again, a fight for the objective. Mirrodin is right there. There's the Sundering though. Hanzo is low, so is Mirrodin. And here's the Planet Cracker zoning them out a little bit. Taluf actually walks into it. He just walked into the Planet Cracker and says like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. He should care because he nearly died. But instead it's ETC that goes down again. Greyman is also biting the dust. The 1-for-1. Nah, no kill against Cesabos and his Phoenix. Decimate is actually getting a bit of value here for Mopsio. I mean, he's just slicing and dicing the entire time here in those fights, and he gets cooldown reduction through it too. There's another kill against Hanzo. That's one of the reasons why you'd never give DAB Li Ming. I mean, I like that they ban out Tracer every single time, but in my opinion, one of the big moves that they made in game number 1 was picking Li Ming away during the draft, and therefore denying DAB a second hero that he's just absolutely fantastic on, because at this point, Li Ming has just gotten kill after kill after kill. 13 talents might be ready for both teams, but as you can tell, we're now having another camp being fought over, and leftovers should be able to claim another objective, and these bad boys scale pretty heavily, so that's going to be a lot of damage for them. With that said, we're having still in the middle, I mean, 2 forts are already down, and the one in the middle is so low that they might even be able to get it before the objective comes into play. 18 seconds right now. 18 seconds left to get a little bit more interrupts. Yeah, that's where the chain lightning really pays off. But it gets taken after all. So they reclaim it. They reclaim it for now. ETC is now still at the bot side. Mirrodin, as expected, went into the bronze beyond rage. Also having more warp talents for Phoenix. On level 13 he went into the Adaniman shell. So gets the extra armor. That is really going to make it a lot harder to take him down when he starts to go for the aggressive warps. I mean, it's great for the defense too, don't get me wrong, but if you're already going to your level 7, you obviously want to hit that warfare. Level 16 talents are in, and that's usually the sign to straight go for the objective again. And that's exactly what Tyrande is doing. She immediately says, alright boys, let's go again. Big lead. Let's see. Ah, there's the arrow, there's the Planet Cracker, there's the double kill. Alright, we're talking, boys. Told you earlier, once that the setup connects, you're gonna see a couple of funerals there. And there's already 2 coffins in play, and that's even without Ophir. So Tyrande and Li Ming have both died. And yeah, I don't know why the red team hates women, but did you notice that they didn't kill a single man? Now, if that wasn't a sexist combo, then I don't know what is. We need some social justice in here. But no, we have 9 kills against 3. That, by the way, came without the level 16 talent, so that was another big one for them too. And now the quest completed for Thrall again. Obviously it's 16, so it helps them with the additional poke. But Li Ming and Tyrande are both coming back in a second, and there's Hanzo eliminated. They take a 3 versus 5, and they kill and get a counter kill there. Yep, there we go. Alright, there's another one. That's one of the reasons why you shouldn't really go into a 3 versus 5. They could have just waited for the girls to come back. And now DAB is going to try and fix it with Polyboss. I mean, it's a 3 versus 4, so it could be worse, but it could also be much better. They're still interrupting. It's so annoying for All Might Be to take control of this one. Now he's starting to come in, and there's lockdown. Anduin gets murdered. Yeah. But the objective gets claimed by the red team regardless. So 3 versus 3. Now they're going for Li Ming again. But nope, DAB comes in and wants the kill. Yeah, there's another stun. Also, arrow. Oh, nicely done. DAB reflexes like a panther. That Sundering nearly rocked Mirrodin, but it wasn't enough to set him up for another kill. Li Ming wasn't close enough to get another combo through. So that was a problem. But yeah, pretty cool on 11 kills against 5. Guys, I gotta admit, this grand final is pretty awesome. This is pretty epic so far. Now they're starting to take the Raiders down pretty easily. The one in the middle has already been defended, never even made it towards the gate. Greymane should be able to take this one down without any problems too. There's nobody moving down to the bottom of the map, which obviously makes this an even easier defense for him. But yeah, these kills couldn't have come at a better time. 30 stacks now for Mirrodin, which also means that on the Stormbolt he obviously has solid damage. He can actually rock this against structures now too, since thanks to the Sledgehammer, he has really nice damage against this. Went also into the additional dwarf launch on level 16. Yeah, that comes into play as they're trying to make a kill happen against Mopsio, and that could actually work. Garrosh goes down, and they're going to take the fort here as well. The problem is, there's some action happening at the bottom of the map because Taluf and Blikitne are just saying, map is a little bit too big, even with the 10% global movement speed increase, we're not going to make it up to the top lane in time. We're just going for a boss at the bottom of the map. Oh! If he would have died there, I mean, I gotta admit, I would have laughed hard. But yeah, it's a boss for a boss. 11 against 6 kills. Still the 1 level lead though for the blue team. The leftovers have the advantage there. And they're actually preparing the bot lane already, forcing the red team to react to this. 51,000 damage for Thrall. 42,000 damage for Li Ming. And yep, the defense all the way up at the top. So both of the teams just defending against the boss, but the big play here is still the level 20. Leftovers have that level lead. They've been holding on to it for thus long that it's likely that they're going to have the level 20 before their opponent, and if an objective spawns roughly around the same time, they should be able to get those Storm Talons put to some use and theoretically win the team fight. And then again, if you think about it, previously we also saw the combo happen as 16 Talons weren't ready yet for Hold My Beer, and that combo can of course be empowered by level 20 Talons, but it's not necessarily needed to get the kills in there. They would love to have that, don't get me wrong, but still, even without it, it is a pretty deadly combo if you hit the right targets, and that includes Li Ming and Tyrande, just to name two. So, yeah, they are the squishies. Still, global from ETC being used. Not a single keep has fallen here, but the bot lane has been opened up by the leftovers, and they are closing in on 20. And there it is. Prisoner camp is getting located again. The poke in the middle, trying to get some damage in against the fort, or at least open up the wall and take the towers down. Muradin is obviously helping with this. But level 20 Talons any second now. There we go. Okay, that's a big lead that they have. More than a level advantage. Tal Rasha's taken. And after we had the Decimate on level 10, he's specking into it on level 20 now with a Deadly Calm. Less damage even. So if you can make that happen against the front line, it's pretty amazing as well. Shooting Star, Windrush. And this is a great position for leftovers to be in. They are behind the series. Again, I have to highlight this because I still can't believe it, to be honest with you. Hold My Beer won game number 1, and they are actually fighting tooth and nail to make this a 2-0, but the lead is there, and Greyman gets the kill, the first one. ETC jumps into the back line. He might be a bit too late on this. Slides through, tries to save himself. Greyman gets thrown forward, and Anduit with a save. Maybe not quite. Yeah, ETC still falls. And that is now the aggression into the mid lane. And another great ult from Li Ming. Another wave of force. And Greymane uses that opportunity to get the kill. They're going straight in for the keep. And only Phoenix and Anduin survive. That might even be the end of it. Now keep in mind that this core obviously regenerates hit points. So if you don't make it when you try and go for the attack, it means that it's going to be on full HP in just a few seconds later. But they believe that they have the power output right now. And with 19 seconds left for Hanzo, I really believe that too. So they have it already down to 50%, and they're just racking it completely. Phoenix dies too, and that is the end of the shenanigans here, as we have leftovers tying the best of 5 series and taking the victory just before we're heading into the 3rd game of this best of 5 at the ALW. GG, and well played. Leftovers take the win. Towers of Boom, ladies and gentlemen. Leftovers have tied the series. Going up against Hold My Beer here in the ALW Grand Final. A best of 5. And we have pretty much reduced that now to a best of 3, if you think about it. So, let's go. So far the games were actually pretty awesome. That Planet Cracker combo with the arrow was pretty sweet. Didn't really work a lot in this game, but when it did, whew, it got spicy. Okay, so first ban, get rid of Tracer. That has to be the first one. Honestly, I want them to get rid of Tracer and Li Ming in some form or fashion. Either pick the hero for yourself early on, or deny it to your opponent. One of the two. Because Li Ming really was a problem. Obviously, there's a Greymane focus from leftovers as well, but there's only so many bans that you have in the game. There's the Tracer ban. Again, that worked out nicely. And it was also interesting to see what leftovers are going to ban out, to be honest. For Hold My Beer, it was so far an effort to eliminate Chen whenever they could. I could see them switch over into a Li Ming ban, a Grey Main ban, or pick one of the two for themselves. White Main gets annihilated again. Yeah, that first game, White Main definitely did a whole lot of work, and leftovers just looked at this and was like, okay, we're kind of done with this. Not gonna happen again. Not in game number 2, not in game number 3. Let's just like eliminate that right off the bat there. But yeah, we need our second. Garrosh gets banned out. Okay. Fair enough. Means Chen is open, which they banned out so far. Also keeps them obviously in play still with Li Ming and with Grey Main. First pick then again goes this time to Hold My Beer. So they can actually go into the first pick and maybe pick Grey Main away. Ah, but there's the Chen ban. Okay, so this time Hold My Beer as well. They got the first pick now. Let's make sure that Chen isn't getting picked there. Li Ming and Grey Main both open. Hanzo as well. They spec very heavily into Hanzo. Hold My Beer, that is, on most of the maps so far. But there's still the question, do we try and pick one of the heroes away from leftovers that they focused on so far? It's Tyrande. Okay, you do that, girl. You do you. Tyrande picked Grey Main Li Ming. It's a little bit weird. You don't see these two of the 2 damage dealers are picked right at the start, but I would say that at least Grey Main is going to make it into the rotation. And, I mean, we all know that DAP probably wants to have Li Ming as well. But do they really drop 2 damage dealers into the first rotation, which doesn't leave them in a wiggle room later on? They do. Grey Main and Li Ming, both taken. Little Mila Superstar is now in action. And the big bad wolf is also in play. Okay. With that, what else do we have? I mean, you need to counteract that somehow. Honestly, they banned out Tyrael earlier. If they have someone that knows what he's doing on Tyrael, I wouldn't even mind them to pick Tyrael so that in a big team fight they can drop the Sanctification and survive through all of that damage that comes their way. Reyna gets claimed and was banned out a few times in the 3rd spot by the leftovers, so they're trying to play around the auto attacks and the penetrating round, which oftentimes keeps the dangerous targets at bay. Still a big map, so ETC again for the side lane with a stage dive. Question still remains what leftovers are going to do on that lane. Dehaka, really popular on the map. So is, I mean, Ural can be played here, Leo can be played here. There's a lot. Sylvana's getting banned too. And what do you ban out on the other side now? They focused on Garrosh. Obviously the damage is not really an issue anymore. They could think about getting rid of one of the supports again, but I feel it's more serious. I could be one of the side laners. And yeah, Hold My Beer. They impress me. They actually do. They might not really be quite on the same level as a lot of the teams that are represented in Division S, but they definitely have a chance when it comes to qualifiers to make a slot or spot in Division S happen at any point. They improve to a level where they can definitely contest the bottom teams in the standings. Diablo gets banned out, so there's no chance for Mopsio to get double stuns in and maybe get quick kills against heroes like Tyrande or even Reyna. But now it's time to shine. I mean, at this point you would expect the support and you would... Oh my god, Mopsio already with Kerrigan, the Countess, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing real aggression. You pick a Tyrael with that, you pick an Anubarak with that, and you have a full-on dive comp at your hands. Oh my god. This is going to get brutal in team fights. Right now, I would be tempted to get Tyrael for Hold My Beer. I gotta be honest. I said it before when we saw only Li Ming and Grey Main that a Sanctification in team fight might be good for you. At this point with Kerrigan in the mix, even more so. But they switch it up. They actually put ETC into the main tank position now. They drop Thrall onto the off lane. Can interrupt with the Sundering if they want to go for that. And drop Medivh in to just say, okay, we need something that can, first of all, with a ley line, with a polybomb, with anything, shut down the aggression. And then also provide shields and portals. So, yeah, they're switching the game up. And keep in mind, Medivh was actually banned out previously against Hold My Beer. But yeah, there we go. Last pick. What's it gonna be? One of the 2 mentioned tanks or something different? Dehaka! Horrible skin again. Dehaka comes in, so... Is that a Kerrigan main tank? Or what are we looking at here? The aggression is definitely real. Game number 3, Towers of Doom here at the ALW as we are heading into the 3rd game of the series. Game on, ladies! Leftovers against Hold My Beer. Game number 3. Boss on Malfurion. DAB on Liming. Taloof on Dehaka for the side laner. Mopsy on Carrigan and Bleak Kidney on Greymane. Hold My Beer with a more traditional comp, playing Balsa on Reyna. We have Satuas on ETC, Kolatka on Thrall, Cesabos on Medivh, and he is going to have a lot. Yeah, he's going to have a lot of work in his future here. And Tyrande is played by Scope. Yeah, so that ETC, or sorry, the Dehaka and Carrigan pick is definitely an interesting one. There's no real main tech on their side. And there's actually a couple of guys that commented in the past, on YouTube videos at least, that were heavily arguing, no, you don't understand how this game works. Dehaka is a main tank. He should always be with the team. And then dropped, you should watch random player XYZ because they know how it's done. Yeah, but outside of Plastic League, it's pretty much known that Dehaka is a solo laner, and there's no real difference in this game. So they're actually playing around Carrigan, taking the front most of the time. It definitely changes things up a little bit. They're not quite as sustainable as you would be with the real tank at the front. Obviously, that would also provide a bit of additional CC. But they have the potential for very quick kills here around Carrigan, Greymane, and Liming. So if you make the engagement happen, and you really are cautious about which battles you take, you can very, very quickly take one hero down and then take it from there. But you definitely have to be coordinated, and that's what we have to watch out for. They're also the team that has the global. The question is still going to be what ETC does once that we have level 10 for him. Considering that there's Liming on the other side, that, I mean, there's so many interrupts here. I really still want to see him with a stage dive and then maybe switch positions with Thrall. We'll find out eventually, because I don't really think that he's going to get a lot of mosh pit value if he dares to go into it. DAB alone would always have an interrupt ready, and he normally doesn't get caught by that either. So right now we have 4 stacks for Thrall for the Echo of Elements. He's still fighting it out against the Dehaka topside, who has by the way gone into the tissue regeneration as the level 1. Having for Carrigan the Siphoning Impact. And Carrigan will spec heavily into shields, just generally speaking. Yeah, there's the portal action already. They're going for Greymane. Bleak Kidney's on the run, gets stunned, and that's the end. Good first kill here. The setup for Hold My Beer is actually really good against us. Now, as I said before, a lot of the aggression that we see from leftovers will hinge on them getting very quick kills, moving in with a combo of Carrigan, maybe a Dragon Isolation from Dehaka, and then following up with the damage that Greymane and Liming provide. So you really want to play around these cooldowns and drop a target fast. If that play is recognized early and Medivh is able to just shield the target and provide a portal to get out of there, there's a really good chance that Hold My Beer is going to take these fights. And engages like the one that we just observed, where he provides a portal into the backline and just falls behind them, will also help them to take potentially a lead here. So Carrigan is really a hero that thrives on momentum in this case, and if that momentum is never really given to them, that could definitely be a huge problem for the leftovers in this third game. And potentially Hold My Beer is going to take a lead here. 15 stacks for Thrall now, getting a little bit closer. Medivh, by the way, is now also going straight into the mass view that he has. I mean, he's just sitting in the Raven form the entire time. I honestly don't know why Blizzard even named the level 20 leyline Medivh cheats, because we all know that Medivh cheats. I mean, that fucker does that from level 1. Just look at him here, in his bird from Fly Like an Eagle. And he's just viewing you the entire time. He's like, he's a little bit creepy, honestly. He's a little bit one of these stalkers, you know, like that creepy guy that always just follows you. It becomes a little bit concerning at some point. But yeah, Blizzard didn't really have to go straight in and tell us that Medivh cheats. We all knew that already. That hero is just a massive pain in the ass. And 13 stacks so far for him, and he's adding a few more as he goes for the interrupt again. Obviously has to make sure that he gets that quest completed at some point. Portal's already in, just to make sure that he can dodge around this. And the team is getting some value on the map while the channel is finally happening, and that's now a slight lead that we have for the leftovers. In the early stage of the game, of course. So once more, Kolatka at the top, gets dragged. Ooh, eats a couple of hits here. Taloof. Not bad. Oh, little dinosaur is all of a sudden getting some action in. Yeah, the Frenchies not only doing a lot of work in the Tour de France these days, but at the same time also rocking it in the solo lane in Heroes of the Storm. Here comes the Haka again, misses the drag just as I praise him, but he lost to Malfurion already, so that kind of puts an end to that fight for sure. The Haka might be fast when he comes in like this, but he's no Alaphilippe. That's definitely also true. So, yep, Sartor's already sitting there. We're having our 4 men at the bottom of the map, and obviously the rotations towards the top side have happened as the 2 solo laners decided that they need to make sure that they grab the experience for their team. Medivh still sitting mid lane. Has 19 stacks, by the way. Thrall has completed his level 1 quest, so Echo of Elements is done. Kerrigan, after the kinetic fulmination, has gone straight into the Boundless Fury here. And yeah, Kerrigan was always furious. Calamity on level 7 for them now. And the single altar at the bottom of the map right here. Action against the fort, or against the wall. We actually have a bit of a trade there, because while we're having the mass aggression down at the bottom of the map and Mopsio nearly dying, we're also seeing the same attack topside. There's no altar there though, so if they really want to fight for those 4 points, they have to make that rotation eventually. Oh, that's always bad. Having to rotate over to deal with this is always a problem. You lose so much momentum on the map, as you can tell. I mean, they lose so much time that Bell Tower is nearly taken. Can they at least get a couple of kills? There's the burrow. Greyman obviously has an advantage when he heads into this. 4 shots fired, 1 kill in. Blake Kidney low, and Blake Kidney down. Double kill, altar falling, Jimmy dying at the bottom, and trying to make the play for Duranda, but she at least is able to escape. So it's a 2-for-1 trade and an altar taken. Well, make it a 3-for-1 because Li Ming gets wrecked as well. So nicely done there. It's actually kind of a win by Horde might be. It's a little bit of a weird scenario because that top bell tower still doesn't look healthy and can eventually be taken down. But they got the kill leads. They aren't really that far ahead in experience, but they have a slight... I mean, they equalize the points in the core. It's a little bit of a weird one. Eventually, the Haka should be able to get the top bell tower without any big problems, because usually Khaldor and Thrall will be forced to rotate faster than he does. And then with every single wave that you push through, you're pressuring that bell tower more. So you can lose momentum quite quickly. Yeah, that Sundering didn't work out, but Mopsio still dies. That's a quick kill right there. 23 stacks by now for Medivh. And the Haka is exactly where we expected him to be. Pushing out the top lane and forcing Khaldor to make that rotation again. Medivh is sitting tight. Camp at the bot lane is now taken, so another pumpkin camp for Hold My Beer. And 6 kills against 1. Against the leftovers. Against the leftovers there. Here's the fight. The Haka comes in, connects the drag. They're trying to make the play for Duranda. EDC is already moving out. Camp gets taken by the leftovers, and they're saying like, yep, not on our watch, buddy. Ain't happening. Scope nearly dropped by the combo, but there's the ley line. DAB with another attempt, and DAB's combo was just beautiful. Using the Wave of Force to push Duranda into the combo, and it nearly worked out perfectly, but he just missed a bit of the damage, and that allowed Duranda to escape here. 12 versus 12 now, pumpkins everywhere, and the pressure is now in 2 lanes. As we have 2 altars on the map, the top and the bottom bell tower are both really low. 1 channel already went through. It's an even trade though, as a Thrall is able to get 1 in for the red team. 28 versus 28 on the core, but look at those HP points. Not looking pretty, and that not either. There's a lot of momentum that can be built up by the leftovers at any point here. And it's scary, it's really scary. Haka with another attempt here, penetrating round is coming out, pushing them back, another quick push here, and the combo of Mopsio is missing. The poke is still continuing. Level 12 versus 12, damage output at 16,000 for Jimmy. Li Ming looking solid as well. Greyman is already moving topside, trying to burn down that wave that is pushing it right now, and that could already mean the end of the bell tower. And the team is rotating bot side. They're realizing that they won't be able to get too much done here, so instead they're just trying to focus on the bot lane, but they're starting to lose control. And they lose control quickly. I mean, that's the end of the bell tower at the top. There is absolutely no doubt about that. And at the same time, the pumpkin camps were just taken, so this is going to push straight towards the core now. That's potentially 3 shots. They're at least getting the trade at the bottom. That's important, so they had at least the bot lane control. And here comes the potential aggression. Yeah, Jimmy had to cancel the B back, making sure that he can fight with the team. The Haka is in. Pumpkins at the top are nearly going into the core. So far it's safe. Here comes the Sundering, and Mopsio goes down. Mopsio dead, but so is ETC, and Greyman just doesn't stop there. Can't stop, one stop, baby. 2 down as Reyna falls and 2 shots fired as the Pumpkin make it in. That's 3 actually, 25 against 28 now. And they can reclaim the bottom bell tower. Kerrigan went down, but 2 heroes died on the side of Hold My Beer. So a 2-for-1 trade, and they have the additional bell tower control now at the bot lane potentially. Medivh already going straight in for the channel. On the left side, they interrupt thanks to the Owl that moved in. 4 shots fired against the blue team's core, but Greyman is able to complete his own shots, and that's another 4-for-4 trade. So boom! 24 against 21. Bell tower at the top lane is about to be reclaimed too. The one at the bottom of the map is already retaken as well. And obviously now they're going for the camps again. 1 pumpkin camp claimed, the second one taken too. They can try and go for the bot lane control here. And they should be able to get this. I mean, with like 6 pumpkins moving in right now, if you don't take that, then I don't know what you're doing. 33 stacks on Medivh, closing in on the quest completion. As by now also the Enduring Will taken. So gets the cooldown reduction. That one is taken. 6 potential shots now moving into the core here. And they have an earlier level 16 talent. Keep that in mind as well. Yeah, they're gonna get that very soon now. They don't have it with a wave that just came in. And the drag misses. They're making the play right now. Nice lockdown. Kerrigan with the ult. Mosh pit by ETC. The ley line as well. ETC gets shielded, but they couldn't get the kill. And there's Greyman. He moves in, and the Tranquility keeps him alive. Gets the kill against Tyrande. A few more shots got fired. Now we're looking at 24 against 18. Great setup here. Leftovers, they have the pressure now. 5 against 3 bell towers. Quest is completed for Medivh, so at least that's a bit of a hope that they have now that he can use that to his advantage. But with now 16 talents on the board and a triple altar all winning up, at least 2 of those altars should end up in the hands of the leftovers. Another fight attempt. 3 versus 3, 4 versus 3. They kill against Thrall. They look for more. But they can't get it. Mopsio, he was in trouble there. Got attacked immediately, and especially Reyna is just trying to put another bullet between the eyes of either Kerrigan or the Wolf. Jimmy and his little grudge against Sarah. Another kill! Jimmy actually down, since we're having Liming saying, you've had enough playtime here. Greyman with the channel at the top left. Bottom of the map has been completely abandoned. They're going for the triple, boys. 5 shots fired. Kaboom! And Portyboss is going to get another channel through over here. So 2 are connecting, and this alone already drops the HP of the core down into the single digits. If they are able to get another connect down at the bottom of the map, you can see where this is headed. Especially since we're now having more aggression in the middle. Yep, and there's the shots fired again. Another 5 connect, and we're talking 3 points on the core against 24. It works out, the combo works, the aggression is there. And it's working out perfectly for them. 6 kills against 7. They're still behind in kills, which is insane if you think about it. We were looking earlier against 6 kills against 1, but now the boss is obviously an absolute focus point for leftovers. If they at any point can take this, the game's over right there. And they're setting it up. They're setting Toulouse onto the pumpkin camp. They take it. Now all he has to do is get a second one, push out the bot lane. The rest of the team can already go topside, and then it's a checkmate position. And Hold My Beer knows it too. Which is exactly why they're going for this heavy aggression at the bottom of the map to reclaim the bell tower. They have to. They can't do anything else. The Haka is still chased off the camp, so that's something. But the bell tower is still there. And they're going for more aggression. They're just saying, okay, boys, we're going to trade. We're going to trade. We're going to get more pumpkins the entire time and just play around it. We have the global. What you going to do? You didn't pick stage dive. You can't follow the Haka. The bird can fly around a little bit, but that's all that he can do. So if you like watching, hell, fair enough. But if you want to participate in the fun here, it's a different story. 3 pumpkins about to move in. Bot lane has been reclaimed. That's at least a bit of a victory. Medivh is obviously supplying the vision over the boss, but the camps has to be dealt with. And now they're going for another push at the bot lane as the altar is spawning. And they're trying to reclaim the bell tower before that's even becoming an issue. There's still minions that are in range, and they can take that now. Greyman is fantastic in this spot. And what does the red team do? They're just running around on the map like headless chickens because they have to react to this shit. They just have to follow all of this. They have no other choice. So now the bot lane has been taken. Pumpkins have been taken out. But the middle bell tower is also only on 50% HP. Look at the experience alone. Kerrigan comes in and dies, and that's exactly what they needed. Mosh pit against Broccoli. I call Worth right there. He was always one of the biggest threats in this team with the 14 stacks that we see on Malfurion. So the Broccoli Mosh Pit, he wants to dance too. He doesn't want to be ignored here. It's always the heroes that are dancing, and he honestly, he wants to show his moves. He wants to rustle those leaves a little bit. Shake that trunk. Shake it, baby. Full on broccoli plays. But yeah, so they get the 2 shots fired. Congratulations. And now they have to kind of reclaim the situation without losing the one in the middle. So yeah, mid lane obviously gets attacked. They're trying to reclaim the bottom. That's at least 1 shot fired through the barrage. Yeah, that's at least 1. 7 against 1. And there's our single shot that makes it over. Boom! 2 points on the core. And guess what's happening? They're going for the boss, baby, because they have level 20. And there's the immediate kill, and that is game, ladies and gentlemen. Bada bing, bada boom on Towers of Doom, as we have Leftovers taking the lead in the best of 5 against Hold My Beer. Battlefield of Eternity, and the Leftovers have taken the lead. They just won 2 maps in a row, and Hold My Beer is struggling a bit to repeat the victory that they accomplished in game number 1. Again, Leftovers, I mean, they are the absolute favorite in this series. Duh. Water is wet, the sky is blue, and the Leftovers are the favorites against Hold My Beer. As previous HGC players, obviously they are. But as I said before, Hold My Beer is getting better and better as a team. They are trying to improve, and you can really tell. If you are someone that watches the videos on YouTube or on Twitch religiously, you know that. You've seen that 4, 5, 6 weeks back, and can compare that now to the performance that we're seeing here. They're doing really well with that as well. So Garage gets banned out again. They have a bit of a focus on that. We're still seeing the ban against Tracer. And I gotta admit, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't ban out either Greymane or Li Ming. Leftovers have pretty much settled on what bans they want to throw in at the beginning of every single draft. They don't want to deal with the Chen, and they don't want to deal with the white main pick if Hold My Beer has first pick position. If that isn't the case, then Chen might be banned out by Hold My Beer, so it's always that give and take that depends on, are you first pick, first ban, or are you in the second position. There's the Li Ming pick for this map, obviously fantastic, but that now allows the Leftovers to go into Greymane plus Tyrande, which they immediately do. So great start for them into the draft now too, as well. Okay. And yeah, for the double pick, there's obviously a question of how you want to rock it right now. But we are looking at a potential front line here. And then potential bans against that. Again, it's a little bit tricky at this point because you could Hanzo it still. ETC and Malfurion get picked beforehand, but Hanzo would still be an option for them. ETC, once more, either main tank, either offlane, but for the offlane you can go Malthael, you can go into Urel. There's a couple of really cool picks that you can play on the map there still. Now, if you feel that you don't have enough pressure against the Immortal itself, then Malthael would obviously fit that bill. Question is always, can we deal with the rest of the team there? So, yeah. Okay, Sylvanas gets banned. That's a bit of a trend now too on the level 3 pick, on the 3rd pick from Leftovers. They haven't really allowed a lot of Sylvanas to be played by Hold My Beer in the series and adjusted to that. There's Diablo getting banned out again, which leaves us potentially with a Johanna pick for Mopsio. Muradin still pretty solid there, unless they want to go full aggression. Anubarak is also up, by the way, so the Tyrande Anubarak setup would work too. But then against Li Ming, you obviously lose the cocoon value, so you have to be careful with that. Unless you cocoon Li Ming, that obviously works. Since it's much harder for her to now blink out of range, it's pretty much a given that you can use that against her. And there it is. Anubra gets picked. So I would say a lot of the cocoons are going to be on Li Ming when they engage into the fight. I talked about Hanzo earlier, and we have him picked indeed. And with that setup, there is still now... I mean, Jimmy is open. Oh my god, Artanis. Why, god, why? Okay, I mean, you have at least against Greymane the Suppression Pulse, but I'm reaching here. Artanis is rarely working out on a higher level. And they get Reyna together with that. Especially since Blizzard kind of nerfed the Purifier Beam now too, because they added the 10% movement speed globally on every single hero and kind of forgot to also adjust the speed of the Purifier Beam in the process. So Artanis gets picked again, and I do not think that's going to work out well for them. Yeah, Artanis is just Blizzard misspelling auto loss. Arthas comes in for the top lane. Alright, Arthas and Nubarak together with the setup. And guys, we are ready for game number 4. Let's see if the leftovers can win it. I've hold my beer. Brings this back. Let's go. Straight into Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 4, ladies. Battlefield of Eternity. Alright, let's see how this is gonna pan out. Artanis in play for the amateur opponent, and the suppression pulse against Tyrande and Greymane. Well, against Arthas to an extent as well, obviously. But first of all, let's have a look at the blue team, the leftovers, with Poryboss on Tyrande, Mopsio on Nubarak, Black Kidney on Greymane, with DAB on Hanzo and Toulouf on Arthas. Then again, hold my beer, the red team with Baltzar on Liming. We're having Scope on Malfurion, Kolatka on Artanis, Cesabos on Reyna, and Sartuas on ETC. Now I gotta admit, I'm a little bit worried already because I'm looking at Reyna and he hasn't taken his level 1 yet. And there it is, ace in the hole, okay. For a second I was worried that after they already have an Artanis with amateur opponent plus Liming, that they would also go for the Exterminator, which would definitely be a bit of an overkill on the immortal damage and not enough damage for the team fight, which should really be their concern. This at the top is not going to work out for the red team, I can tell you that much. There's obviously counter-aggression happening now. The problem is that you are looking at a Greymane setup at the top lane, so they are going to be much faster. It should still lead us to hold my beer taking a fort and leftovers claiming 1-2. But if they push it further towards the keep, then the wall might fall there, whereas the red team has to react to it. You can already tell that there's a difference in speed that we have between the two teams. I mean, this one is nearly down, and at the bottom of the map, they are just starting. That becomes possible because the Nubarak spawns beetles, and those soak the shower shots, so you can be more aggressive around it, and then you have Greymane, and this is exactly what I talked about. It's going to be a fort for a fort, but you're going to lose the wall at the top as well. And that's happening right now as we speak. And now Arthas can also try and interrupt a couple of the B-backs. I mean, there's 4 heroes that still haven't moved back yet. So this entire wall is about to fall, or at least the 2 turrets. That's an easy one. So yep, they drop the wall, they drop the turrets, and then they can move back immediately. Big lead already for the leftovers. Right off the gate. Right off the gate, they go for the trade. And it's always a shitty position. I mean, seriously, it's a really bad spot to be in. It's always the question, okay, we didn't anticipate which lane they would go for. How do we deal with this? We have to take the fort down. If we just rotate top, we won't be there in time to stop them. We will just lose the entire wall. So it's a loss from the get-go. The only thing they could have done is maybe rotate a few heroes back after, towards the key protection beforehand. As it stands, it's a half-level lead. We're having now also the level 4 abilities a bit quicker for the leftovers. That by itself shouldn't really do too much, but obviously level 7 might become more of a problem because that's usually dropping into the hands of the players when we have the objective on the map itself. So, as we're looking into this, once again, Artanis is... Again, he can find value. The problem with him is really he's a bit of a noob trap. So obviously on paper it looks really fantastic because you're looking at Artanis and saying, oh my god, the value against the immortal with the amateur opponent. Then you think about your suppression pulse and you're like, oh, they have Greymane, they have Tyrande. All those auto attackers are going to be blinded. It's going to be fantastic. Tyrande can't heal. Greymane can't do damage. But the problem is that theory crafting is just one thing that never really gets you far. And there's just a lot of things that Artanis just doesn't have. It's gonna be a kill though against Arthas. What? Oh, there we go. Alright, gets the kill in. So there's a lot of stuff that Artanis doesn't have. And a few of the things that he doesn't have is, for example, stun, which we normally see on a lot of the other offlaners. And he can be really vulnerable if targeted properly. Now, if you're playing in Quick Match, if you're playing in Storm League, it's a bit of a different story because plays are obviously a lot less coordinated in those scenarios. So the hero can give you quite a bit more. But especially on the higher level of play, there's a reason why the hero very rarely gets picked. Now they have obviously a chance to raise the objective a bit. The problem is only that as the game continues, team fighting is going to become more and more of an issue for them. So unless they get isolation kills through maybe a good Artanis swap, they're going to be falling behind very, very quickly here. And that's really one of the biggest risks with this particular setup. Other offlaners just supply more for the team fights than Artanis does. And this little bit of a weird scenario that never really pans out, that people think when they see a Greymane or an Illidan, all they have to do is pick a Lily for Blinds or an Artanis for the same reason. Usually doesn't pan out. That was a pretty godly swap though, but well, we have the objective taken, so that's in the early game. I think Mobster is going to fall there eventually. I mean, at this point the only thing that they have to do is chase him down. Ah, unfortunate. Oh, never lucky. So they win the first objective. Again, in the early game, this is definitely going to work for them. They have the pressure. They have Li Ming for the constant poke, they have Artanis on this setup, and they have Jimmy, who's also pretty solid around it. But as the game continues, teamfights will become more important because the death timers are obviously rising, and then it's becoming a bit of a different issue very, very quickly. The level 7 talent that we're having is already giving them a slight advantage, and this fort shouldn't actually fall, but they're trying to make the play happen against the heroes, so they're not going for the defense anymore, and they didn't actually catch anybody here. They're starting to move straight over, and that keep or that fort is not going to fall. Level 7 talents are in now as well. That gives us the Calamity. Again, you have to highlight that every single game because Calamity is one of the biggest power spikes for any hero in this game. It's honestly insane. That hero becomes a total different beast once the talent has been taken. Artanis with a follow through, so definitely believing in the mechanical skills to weave those auto attacks in. The shield surge is in play now as well. And we have the Subterranean Shield for Nubarak. Greymane, he's the one who's going to try and get the Immortal Pressure in together with Tyrande. Level 10 abilities are obviously going to be very important. Not only because of the Suppression Pulse that can potentially win them an Immortal still if it comes down into a race scenario. But now that we're having a good rotation again for the leftovers, they're getting free damage onto the fort. They won't be able to take it down, but that's free damage regardless. That's already a small win for them, especially since they have a 1 level lead of their opponent already. So there we have now our little setup where they take the fountain down. That's an important one to take since it only leaves them with the one in the middle. And Nubarak dives in deep, and they're trying to follow that up. They're going to get this one, aren't they? Artanis is still topside, and therefore it's a 5 versus 4, so they don't want to engage into that. Can't blame them for that either. Icebound 42 taken on level 7 now for Arthur, so he's going to be able to sustain himself through quite a bit of damage. And Nubarak comes in, they go for Malfurion, there's the root, Nature's Cure is being used, and they keep him alive. As they don't get any kills, Artanis is getting value. This is the setup that Artanis likes. When there's nobody there that can actually deal damage to him, then the hero becomes really useful. So it's really strong against minions. So if you ever find yourself in a game where you know that your opponent is not caring about you, if you fight minions, then Artanis is awesome. Artanis is amazing against minions. Great hero against minions. It's really fantastic. So are others though. But yeah, so with that now, we have at least a bit of damage against the topside fort, but there's the level 10 ability now. The camps are already taken. There's a go for the throat over the cursed bullet this time. And Nubarak hasn't made his choice yet. He's actually going to wait it out to force Li Ming into the disintegrate. Or trying to force that first. There's always a chance that you just go into the Carrion Swarm and say, that's like, well, fuck it. But as long as you cocoon Li Ming, you still get the value there. So now, just look at this little setup. With level 10 and the lead that they got, we're going to have them with a massive Immortal against nothing. 10 is finally there. And it's time to shine. That's the rotation topside. That's also where the Immortal is heading bot lane. And there we go. Suppression Pulse. Yep. There's the blinds. Okay, let's see if they can actually save a keep with us. Because that's what we're talking about right now. 8 minutes into the game. Nearly 100% shield Immortal. Notice that Li Ming and Nubarak have not taken their talents yet. Li Ming is waiting for Nubarak to take Cocoon. Then she's going to go into Disintegrate. And yep. Ooh, there's a big advance. There's a big flag. Yeah, 5 versus 4. Mosh pit, baby! And there's the kill. Greymane is down. There's the swap against Potipos, and he just walks away from it. I gotta admit that that was a great swap. But yeah, she wasn't really impressed rather than this. They're still fighting, trying to distract from the Immortal, and that's a kill against Artanis. Yep, he is down. And in the meantime, they're breaking through the wall here to take that keep down. Oh, a great penetrating round, but Jimmy might still fall here. No, a little bit low. In comes the root. Broccoli gets some damage in, but they're straight up going for the keep. And that Immortal still has 100% hit points and is going to murder that thing. Talking about murdering things, the cockroach gets eliminated as well. Goodbye, Anuburok. Was nice knowing you, but the keep is down, and that's really what mattered at the end of the day for them. 3 kills against 1 for Hold My Beer, but all those kills don't mean jack shit if you just can't save your structures. So we're looking at a scenario where the team in red has already lost 2 of their forts, and they have lost a keep. And we have indeed the Locust Swarm taken. Okay, so both of them actually decided to go into the preferred talent, so we have Wave of Force against Locust Swarm. Anuburok picked quickly, and then Li Ming had an opportunity to go into the Wave of Force, didn't have to go into this Integrate to burn it down. Very few stacks, by the way, on Arthur's for his level 4, as you might have noticed already. But Anuburok is getting 19 stacks together for his level 1. So that's something. Now at the bot lane, the pressure continues since the camp was already taken. And there's just a 5-minute top lane. Keep that 13 in mind. Leftovers are going to get that talent any second right now. Atanis tries to get some value for the team. There's a big arrow. Arthas comes in from the back and tries to take Malf down. And there's the kill right there. Yep, Greymane falls as well, but they're still on the chase. And it looks like Li Ming is going to have a bad day too. She goes down, and I guess we're going to see the end of Reyna just a moment later as well. And Artanis, you guessed it, he's also down. So with that, we're now having 2 kills against Artanis. We're having him on 7,000 hero damage. So, I'm not quite sure what else to say there. Malfurion has more damage than he does. And, well, that fort at the top has already been destroyed earlier, which means the keep is open, so they go for that. And with 2 keeps about to be eliminated, it's going to be very tough to come back from a Massacre aspect. But they actually save it. Don't want to overstay here. They have lost 1 hero too, so they can't really wait too long. But the Immortal is spawning another 8. They're already starting to chase. There's a slide, but it's not deep enough. Greymane, in the meantime, is already sitting tight and saying like, alright, I might actually just go for a couple of easy hits. 13 versus 13 talents, which gives us now, amongst other things, also the triple strike. Top side, Li Ming has to be a bit careful with the catapult, because if that at any point gets onto the keep, then it is toast. Down at the bottom, it pushes in 2. We're only 11 minutes in, so it's not really Winion territory yet, where they completely wreck the core or anything. But there's the engage again. Trying to move in once more. Blick Kidney sitting at the side. They're waiting for the stun, and there is Artanis. Where's Artanis? Exactly. So quick kill against him. A bit of a mosh pit attempt. That was a good one. Also a nice ult from Malfurion, but the problem is they just aren't able to get the damage in. 5 versus 4 already. And it's time to shine once again on the Immortal, baby. Greymane doing his thing. It's time for the Worgen form. Whoop, whoop. Goes immediately in to drop this one. There's still a defensive position posture from the opponent's team, but they are of course toying with fire here. If they get locked down by Anuburok again, then it might be the end of them as well. Yep, there's another attack. Halftime show is already won, and now we're looking on the damage numbers. Greymane with 7,000. He hasn't really gotten a lot of hero damage out too. And why? Because Khaldor just kills them before he's there. 22,000 for Jimmy. I mean, it's at least some consoling numbers for Artanis. Is not the only one who's struggling to get the damage out. But Greymane and Arthas are roughly on the same thing. We see a lot of quick kills. Greymane gets a few more damage in with the auto attacks now. The fight is still rocking on. And we're gonna see the kill against Li Ming, baby! Yes! And Artanis is dead again. Yep, Artanis down, and Malfurion on the run. DAB wants the kill, gets the first hit in, gets the arrow through, and that's the end of that. And they're making the play now for Jimmy at the bottom of the map with the level 16 talents already in their hands. Interesting pick from Arthas here, going actually into the double trade, considering that he didn't spec into it on level 1 or level 13. 100% again on the Immortal, and if that doesn't end the game, then I don't know what will. Yeah, 17 stacks on Broccoli. But again, you need a bit more than only that blind during the team fight. You need some stuns, you need some control, you need some CC. And ETC is just not enough here. Little bit more shields. Nice setup against Li Ming again, and she gets evaporated. But ETC gets the kill against Han, so that's at least something. Here comes the blinds again. That doesn't stop Greymane. He still gets the ETC kill in. Yep, he wants some beef for dinner, and he's getting that. And now they're trying to walk down Arthur's as he makes the play for Malfurion. Can't get the kill there, but they're still going for the core as the keep is down. Kolatka again with Atanis moving in. Here's the slide, but even in range form, the Immortal is just shredding that core. And Atanis is dying as he's getting dropped by Tyrande and the minion wave. And that is game, ladies. The dance is in, Reyna is down, and we have a champion. The Leftovers with a 3-1 victory against Hold My Beer at the ALW Grand Final. Congratulations, well played. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.